The 23mm M55, or simply M55, is one of the noteworthy weapons in modern Balkan military history, particularly during the dissolution of Yugoslavia. Although it is an anti-aircraft or shortly AA gun, it made a name as a fearsome ground support weapon for most of its career, as did its many counterparts. Today, we're investigating the M55, the triple trouble. The M55 is not a pure-blood Yugoslavian. At first glance, it appears to be a combination of locally licensed subcomponents. Still, given its influence on history and combat, how could it be more Yugoslav? It had a glorious place in the founding of a socialist republic with a formidable military-industrial complex in the non-aligned camp. And its role in the dissolution of this dream was also unforgettable, though tragic. Its story dates back to 1946. As soon as the Second World War ended, the new owner of the country, the Socialist Federal Republic of Yugoslavia, or SFRY, immediately began reorganizing the army. One step in this process was Belgrade's decision to overhaul captured German 20mm M38 AA guns. The natural partner in this project was the USSR. However, in 1948, the Tito-Stalin split occurred and the SFRY turned toward the West. The countries signed a license agreement with France, which held production rights to the 20mm HS-404 cannon and the HSS 630-3 towed gun carriage from Ispanu-Suiza. Oerlikon Contrevs, today's Rheinmetall AG, later acquired the Swiss company. Belgrade assigned the Sirvana Zastava company, today's Zastava Arms, with manufacturing, and the development of a new single-barreled AA gun began in 1950. The prototype, designated as M51, was completed in 1951. As with similar projects, this plan also experienced many problems. Due to a shortage of experienced personnel, the company hired executives, engineers, and workers from Ispanu-Suiza. In 1954, the USA directly acquired 352 HS-404s to supply the SFRY as a part of its military aid. Despite these efforts, Sirvana Zastava could deliver only 10 units by 1955, rising to only 111 by 1958. The production variant of the M51 was the M55. The Army found the AA gun's performance unsatisfactory. They would later be modified and redesignated as the M75. While struggling with such issues, Sirvana Zastava also began the work on the triple-barreled variant of the AA gun in 1956. To increase range and effectiveness, it was equipped with the HS-804, a longer-barreled version of the HS-404 featuring a 1.7-meter barrel. It used the sight from the US 40mm M1 AA gun, which was a licensed version of the Bofors 40mm L60. In 1961, Sirvana Zastava delivered the first unit of the new M55 A1 variant, though it had some drawbacks. Yugoslav engineers subsequently developed an improved version, the M55 A2, equipped with the domestic PANS-23 mechanical sight with a collimator. The AA gun entered service in 1971, and earlier M55 A1s were upgraded to this standard. The M55 A2 can be towed at up to 80 km per hour by a light truck, such as the 4x4 TAM 110T7 BB. The wheels use a spring suspension system and the carriage has an automatic towing brake. When firing, the two wheels are raised and three outrigger legs extend at 120-degree angles to maintain stability at any traverse angle. The three guns of the M55 A2 are mounted horizontally, with the center one slightly behind the outer pair to improve barrel concentration. This arrangement also places the three 60-round drum magazines close together for easier loading. The M55 A2 is a clear weather system with no provision for coupling to fire control systems. The gunner sits behind the guns, manually aiming with hand wheels for elevation and traverse, and firing using a foot pedal. This crew member inputs target data including range, course angle, dive or climb angles, and speed in 50-meter increments and up to 300 meters per second. The gunner then tracks the target with the graticule of the PANS-23 optical mechanical automatic sight. The M55 A2 is effective against targets moving up to 1000 km per hour and can be engaged at ranges up to 1500 meters. For slower targets, this distance exceeds 2000 meters. Its maximum range of 5500 meters enables long-range engagement of infantry with high explosive shells. However, the 20mm armor-piercing round is ineffective against modern armored vehicles. Armenia, Azerbaijan, the Democratic Republic of Congo, Croatia, Cyprus, El Salvador, Guatemala, Honduras, Indonesia, Mozambique, Serbia, Tunisia, and Zambia are current operators of the M55 and its derivatives. Although many sources claim that Ukraine has received some M55s from an unknown supplier, available footage clearly shows that they are single-barreled M75s. Angola, Bosnia and Herzegovina, Kuwait, Lebanon, North Macedonia, Rhodesia, Zimbabwe, Serbia and Montenegro, Yugoslavia, Slovenia, South Africa, and the UAE are former users. The M55 A2 has a 6-person crew. Its barrel length is about 1.96 meters. The AA gun weighs 1,100 kilograms. In the traveling position, it measures 4.3 meters in length, 1.2 meters in width, and 1.47 meters in height. Its elevation ranges from -5 to +83 degrees. The M55 A2 can turn through 360 degrees. It has a fire rate of 700 rounds per minute per barrel. The AA gun's effective ranges are 2000 and 2500 meters against aerial and ground targets respectively. The M55 A2's manual operation limited its effectiveness against more capable, newer generation strike aircraft developed during the same period. In 1975, Sirvana Zastava introduced the M55 A3 B1 version to address this drawback. This variant includes an 8-horsepower Wankel engine mounted to the right of the gunner to power elevation and traverse. As a result, the combat weight with loaded drums increased to 1,236 kilograms. The M55 A3 B1 is otherwise identical to the M55 A2, using the same PANS-23 sighting system and ammunition. The engine runs on a 50-to-1 petrol-to-oil mixture. The gunner uses a joystick to control traverse and elevation. Manual backup controls provide redundancy. Despite this improvement, the AA gun still lacks the capability to couple to the fire control system. The barrels traverse at adjustable rates between 0.3 and 70 degrees per second. The elevation rate ranges from 0.3 to 50 degrees per second. The Yugoslav People's Army still found these improvements insufficient. In response, in 1977, Sirvana Zastava introduced the M55 A4 B1. This new model features the towed carriage of Oerlikon's GAI DO1, a license-built Italian Officine Galileo P56 computer sight, a small shield, and a compressed air firing system. The Wankel motor, which provides traverse and elevation speeds up to 80 degrees per second, is located beneath the gunner's seat instead of behind it. The gunner inputs target range and speed into the computer, which accepts speeds up to 350 meters per second and ranges up to 1,200 meters. Offering 1.1 times magnification, the computerized aerial sight then automatically adjusts for traverse and lead angles up to 21 degrees. For engaging ground targets, the M55 A4 B1 is equipped with a separate sight with range divisions from 100 to 2,500 meters and 4 times magnification. The gunner controls the AA gun using a joystick on the console below the sight unit and uses an open horizontal grid sight for initial barrel alignment. The computerized sight's optical system is then engaged. Although it uses the same ammunition, the M55 A4 B1 differs from the earlier models with a combat weight of 1,350 kilograms and a maximum towing speed of 70 kilometers per hour. Introduced in 1983, the BOV-3 self-propelled AA gun uses the same M55 A4 B1 as its main weapon. The 4x4 BOV armored vehicle provides improved mobility and ballistic protection. However, the platform lacks a modern fire control system, and the 20mm cannon's range is too short, rendering its effectiveness insufficient against modern aerial threats. Later, Yugo introduced the BOV-3 variant with 8 Strela 2M-As, which is a local improvement of the 9K32M Strela 2M manpads. Serbia also operated a TAM-110 4x4 truck-mounted M55 A4 B1. During the Bosnian War, many improvised mobile variants, including armored TAM 5000 truck-based ones, were used, and some guns were also mounted on the armored train, the Krajina Express. This country has also mounted the Kerber remotely controlled weapons station with this AA gun on BOV M16 Miloš and Lazar 3 vehicles. Kozara, the Serbian Riverine Flotilla's command vessel, and the Serbian Ministry of Defense's protocol vessel is also equipped with the M55. Armenia has mounted the M55 on the MTLB, while Cyprus on the Leonidas, El Salvador on the M114, and Lebanon on the M113. El Salvador also used some improvised armored trucks called Mazzinger as carriers for the AA gun. During the dissolution of the SFRY and the subsequent wars in the 1990s, the M55 and the BOV-3s were widely used by Bosniaks, Croats, Serbs, and Slovaks against one another. Croatian BOV-3's air defense systems shot down many J-21 Yastreb aircraft. These two weapons also served in ground fire support missions. However, they were less effective than the 30mm M53-59 in this role. Nevertheless, although its effectiveness against armored units and heavy fortifications was limited, the AA gun's destructive effect on the infantry was extremely high. Similarly, Serbian sources claim that the Praga was much more effective than the BOV-3 against aerial targets during the Kosovo War. During the Angolan Civil War and the later stages of the South African Border War, the AA gun was widely used. The South African 10th Air Defense Regiment also operated captured M55s in these conflicts. Xanla used the AA gun in its war against Rhodesia and in its civil war. The Rhodesian security forces also used captured M55s later in the Bush War. In the early 1970s, Lebanon acquired some M55 A2s. They were used during the Lebanese Civil War, especially various Christian and Muslim militias after the collapse of the Lebanese armed forces in 1976. During the Second Nagorno-Karabakh War in 2020, Azerbaijan destroyed at least 10 Armenian M55s mounted on the MTLB armored vehicles. Some captured systems remain in service with the Azerbaijani army. The M55 has been used mainly for ground fire support in almost all conflicts owing to its limited range and lack of compatibility with fire control systems. It has been considered ineffective against modern aerial threats. However, many believe it is time for this AA gun to resume its previous roles. A triple 20mm cannon seems ideal for creating a bullet wall with enough saturation to shoot down a drone at close range. But the M55's firepower comes from HS-804 cannons, which have been widely used across various other systems. So it is not special in this matter. Operating the HS-804 on modern electromechanical mountings compatible with the latest fire control systems and sights might be a good idea. The good old mounting of the M55 is too old and not that good. The 20mm armor-piercing rounds are no longer effective against modern armor. The M55 has done what it's supposed to do so far. This AA gun has already earned the title of legend. Let's remember the M55 for what it achieved not for what it can no longer do. Thanks for watching our video. And please don't forget to subscribe to our channel and click the bell button to be notified of our new videos. For more contents like this, please consider clicking the join button to support our channel. And as always, we would greatly appreciate all of your likes, comments and shares.